All right, well, giddy up. Hi. Hi, Zero. Whatever. Public service announcement. Check it out later then. I know it's Sunday and it's a nice day and it's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. You cool cat daddies. We got one in the chat. Yeah. All right. Maybe do me a heavy and share it because I think I don't know, it's been bothering me quite a while. I wouldn't say bothering me, that would be a preference at this point, and I think the less you attach yourself to when it comes to preference, the better. Cheddar, hello. Jess, hello. How are you? Glad to have you here. Yeah, so pride. If it's a sin, why is everyone so proud? Everyone has, at one point in their life, had someone say, oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh, you made us proud. You know, he's a proud man, right? What does that mean? Words are everything. Good. Yeah, I'm doing good too. I'm going to try and focus. I get really distracted. I'm a chat hound. I like to get in there and be a part of it. I'm presenting today. I actually have notes and try my best to stay focused here on the prize. So, hey, Jesse, thank you. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. How long can I talk for? I can talk for days, let me tell you. I'm going to try and keep it succinct, though. Yeah, so things go away at me till I am forced to do something about it. And it makes me sad. You know what? What is pride, right? Well, it's a sin, according to the 7 deadly sins. Pontius or Ponticus or some guy decided that there were 7 things that as a person you should avoid doing. What are they? Well, sloth is one, and you can figure it out. Okay, well, okay, if we're not supposed to be sloth-like, which is like akin to lazy or just not doing, right? If we're created in the image of our creator, we should be creating. So if we're not, then we're being a little bit lazy. Excuse me. So it's obvious, right? Wrath, another one, you know, revenge, anger, taking that emotion out on others. Gluttony, obvious, you know, sharing is caring. Kids know this. Envy, you know, coveting things that aren't yours rather than, you know, making it so. Go get what you want, right? Okay. Lust, obviously, same thing, you know, if you're dealing with an unreciprocated feeling, then go make it so. Go make it so that you're experiencing love, you know, not just that spooky behind the corner, gawky stuff. Tear it. Hey, how's it going? Greed, obviously, it goes back to gluttony, sharing. Sharing is caring. And then number 1 is pride. Pride, in my description, is a sin. Well, says who? Well, etymologically, you look it up. It is from the Middle English, prede, and from late Old English, prito, and it means an unreasonable self-esteem. So if something has occurred and it makes you feel good, but it's not because of you, you know, it's because of someone else's accomplishments or achievements. Wolf chat, howling at the moon. So it's also considered to be an overbearing treatment of others from pomp, which we know is pompous, and a love of display. So someone else has done something and you want to get in there and tell them, hey, I approve, I'm part of this, you know, my preference somehow makes a difference to you, and I get it. Probably the first time you ever heard someone say they were proud of you was your parents, right? And your parents love you. Your parents ideally should want you to do what's best, but they tell you, you know, okay, you learn to ride a bike. And maybe they taught you that. Look at what you've done. I'm proud of you. So children's accomplishment, right? And then people get hung up. Children wasted their whole life trying to achieve that. You know, I just wanted to make my dad proud. He never said he was proud of me. Like, this is a serious grasp on people's brains. Like, it's a huge distraction, like everything else. You know, it comes back to, why are you here? What are you doing? We should be creating joy, creating love, you know? If you're taking ownership of someone else's accomplishments, then that's pride. You know, there's good intent when you say, oh, I'm proud of someone, or, you know, it's almost like it's twisted, it's trickery, it's part of the dumbing down of society. Everybody's doing it. You know, I'm not even going to touch on the parades. Or should I? I don't know if you think we should incorporate that into today's lecture. Let me know. I don't want to upset anyone. I personally don't have any attachment to what you do with other people behind your doors. That's totally up to you. But I feel empathy to those who celebrated in a parade yesterday, because they call it pride, you know? And if we're talking about carnal instincts, that's something that probably everyone is going to experience on one level or another, and share it with other people, you know? So to attach the word pride, Sandro, God bless you, sir, hello. If you attach pride to that, then you're basically saying, and I'm trying to speak in a little bit of hobo code here, but let's face it, yesterday's parade was full of people sharing their pride about their own carnal instincts. Like, I don't know. Seems like a trick. Seems like a trick. Hop on the ship of fools, everybody. It's the SS Pride. I know that everyone with a pulse is going to experience that at some point. So why are we proud? I don't know. Soups, what's up? Thank you guys for joining me. It's a beautiful Sunday. It's Father's Day. I'm going to keep this short. Think of it. I guess basically I've experienced, as of recent, you know, people expressing pride, and it makes me sad because I'm a linguist, I am a poet, I am a word nerd, and there's always something else you can say than pride, right? And I mean, like, you consult the Yoga Sutras, when you look it up, is affiliated with an excessive amount of glory, like a celebration, which, you know, I know that word is used in churches too, and I'm not going to touch on that, but, you know, if you're at all following what the yogis are doing, which I am acknowledging, I am observing, I am not concluding, but I think valuable information and a pretty darn good guideline, considering the Hindus love everybody and want to celebrate everybody. But, you know, when you get too carried away on one end of the spectrum or the other, you know, saying something like, I hate this, right? Well, now you're attached to an outcome, and it's fear. If you're hating something, why? Are you threatened by it? You know, these are the questions I ask myself. So, glory, or, over excitement or overjoyed. It's an attachment, right? We should have an acceptance to the value of everything, whether it makes you happy or feel good or upsets you. It's at the end God's will, right? So the end game would be to eliminate preferences, right? So what if your child tries really hard and fails miserably? You deny that spirit the glory of hearing you're proud of them? Just seems like garbage. All right, so people mean well. They want to say, I'm proud of you, and they want it to come from a nice spot in their heart. But I think it's a matter of framing it differently. So, like examples, let's go back to, again, children. They hear their parents say they're proud. It's probably the first time you ever hear it. I'm so proud of you. Oh, look what you did. I'm proud of you. Well, let's say a child is playing with blocks and builds a huge tower, and mom or dad has noticed that, for the last little while, they've been struggling to balance them. And then finally one day they get it. Okay? So then they say, oh, I'm proud of you. Well, I submit to you for your consideration that what you are and how you could say it is, look at what you've done. I am happy to behold your accomplishment. I am excited for you. You must feel excited. I know how much it meant to you, right? You could say something like that. You stand up for yourself. If someone, maybe you're in a group of people and you have to get the courage up to tell someone, hey, you know what? I don't prefer what you're doing right now, and I'm not going to stand by and let you use words as weapons, and I'm going to intervene, and I'm going to share my sense of justice with you at this moment, right? Someone sees you do that, and they're like, hey, I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. Well, are you proud of me, or are you, you could say something like, I witnessed your attempt to speak your mind and stand up for what you feel is kindness. And I also feel that way, right? Or you could say, I was happy to see you do that. I wish in my heart of hearts more people would do that. You can say things like that. We don't need the word proud. We don't need pride. We can easily, if we stop and take the time to think our own thoughts, we don't need to use that. If anyone in the chat is like, well, yeah, well, I just said that the other day, and what could I have said? Try me. I'll help you. We can find a way to describe what you feel and in a way without pride. It's not necessary. What a waste. I spend your whole life waiting for someone to tell you they're proud of you. Like, again, the parents, they teach us what they're supposed to teach. Like, oh, well, one is far, far away, and it looks like it's going away from you, but what's really happening is that you're spinning backward. It's an illusion. Our parents are tricked into prop these illusions from the minute we can trust them and understand them. And I think that this got put in there. And maybe your parent knows, maybe your parent doesn't want to say, I'm proud of you, because they understand, like, it's you did that, and that is worthy or noteworthy or worthy of mentioning or worthy of high-fiving. but they don't want to say it, you know, and the child doesn't understand it and they grow up thinking that there's something wrong with them, right? I think it's really time that we look at the simple things and start thinking our own thoughts, using our own brains to sort through what makes sense, and stop falling for the tricks. You know, the fools, man. Captain Steubing, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Enjoy your cruise, right? We're rewarded by the system, and that is all part of the dumbing down of society, right? Let's just use that word and be okay with it, and we'll trick you into thinking it's okay, and you don't have to think anymore. You don't have to think, you know? We got you here. Just say you're proud and move on. The person will feel validated and can go on with your life, you know? And then you can hop online and order some food and let, you know, some greasy-handed teenager pick out your tomatoes and put them in a sack and then send them on down the line, right? Yeah, I think it's... yeah, I couldn't believe Blacklight was on Eric Dubé. That was awesome. I can't believe I missed it. Anyways, focus. A lot of things are being taken away from us, you know, and I think the most important thing is our own thoughts. Roger. Roger Dodger, welcome aboard. Tell me your thoughts. Is there something you're proud of? Is there something that you wish someone was proud of you for? Tell me. We can work it out. You don't have to fall. You can get off the ship of fools. Put down your overly priced, not included cocktail, and we'll swim ashore. What's good? Lord Racer. Guys, thanks for joining me. If anything else, you know, I really wanted to... I just really wanted to show people that you can feel the feels of what society tells you pride is without submitting to the trick. You have to say it. You know, you can use your brain and... Okay, so Roger, thank you. Thank you for being part of this. Your girls, and they live the lives they have made for themselves. Yeah, and your grandchildren. That brings you feelings of happiness, right? So you would be inclined to say, you know, oh, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you've done. But what you could say is, you know, and you don't have to say it. You can get, you know, what a fucking crazy world out there. I am so relieved that, you know, the insight I have provided to you over the years have been receptive to, and you have utilized it in a way that will serve you. That makes me happy. That makes me as a parent feel relieved, right? You don't have to say you're proud. We're tricked saying that, guys. It is a big trick. It's word sorcery, right? So, Wolfchild, try to use the term, I'm pleased. Yeah. Well, then have that chat with them, you know? I have uncrippled chats all the time. And at the end of the day, if we all understand each other a little better, we can avoid getting sucked into doing what's easy, and we can learn more about each other, right? You can teach your children, hey, you don't have to do what everyone else is doing, right? You can explain to them that if I tell you I'm pride, what I'm doing is essentially usurping your accomplishments from my self-esteem, right? Yeah. Anyways, I have no attachment to those parades that went down yesterday, but I do, my heart goes out. You gotta show up in public to stand up for the private things you do in your home, and you gotta call it pride. I think the further we get off the ship of fools, the better everyone will be. We need to be honest with each other and think our own thoughts and take time to breathe and sit through the uncomfortable silence. Well, I guess that was all I had to say. Well, like everything, in this world, we are told that, you can't experience joy without knowing pain. Well, I think sitting through silence and observing helps facilitate wisdom in a way that we're not used to. Yeah, I'm going to check that out after too, Roger. That was, it's going to be a lot more exciting than this. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Lots of things. Yeah, just, I guess if I had to ask people something, if I had to validate doing what I'm doing right now and having you beautiful people join me on a lovely Saturday afternoon, is that the next time, oh, thanks, man. The next time you want to say you're proud of someone, just take a minute. Enjoy the feeling you're feeling. Observe them. And figure out why you're feeling compelled to share that, and then observe yourself. What am I feeling? It probably isn't pride. It probably isn't. It's probably a love-based emotion that is worthy of being described in a way that is unique to you, the feeler and observer, right? So don't take the easy way out. Any thoughts on pride?
I already gave you my thoughts.
All right. Well, I don't know what else to say. I know that my friend, she struggled to use the term with her children. Her kids are great. She had 3 boys, and they're all solid heads. We've got, I don't want to divulge any personal information. She's got kids. They have their heads on their shoulders. And I think one of her sons asked her one day, like, why? Why do you never say that you're proud of me? And I think this occurs to people. I think they maybe just don't take the time to overthink things like overthinkers do, But I said to her, well, pride is in, right? So we're told, right? You're not going to offend. And then some people, I've had conversations. All right, I love you. I'm going to say, I've had conversations with people who say, well, no, it's okay. It's this. It's okay to be proud, of a moment and sure, I'm not judging you. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying you can do better, right? You can do better. You can be proud of someone's accomplishments, so you think, without being proud. You can understand the feeling that you're feeling and describe it appropriately without succumbing to the sorcery of the evil bits of this, Well, you better resub. There'll be no unsubbing. No, I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate the subs that I have. Let's see here. Roger. There you go, buddy. Wolfie. You're in. You're in like Flynn. Who else is here? Jeremy Bird. You can have a wrench. You're a cool dude. You can have a wrench. Yeah. Soups. How did you not get a wrench? Boom. Yeah, I'm pretty much like Oprah when it comes to wrenches. Everybody gets a wrench. There you go. Who else? Tarot. We go way back. You can have a wrench too. All right. Well, that's any good news? Any bad news? Any thoughts? Any questions? Look under my seat. Huh? Roger, that's spooky. Yeah, I don't know. If anyone has any opposing views, anyone out there, will you try to give me a reason why you think it's okay to be proud? Can you give me an instance when you think it's okay to be proud? Here's some more uncomfortable silence while we wait. I'll make it more awkward by doing this. Okay. Proud. Like, Soups, you're proud of yourself for your woodworking? Is that what you mean? Are you using... Okay, so I wish I had StreamYard. Maybe I'll get it, guys. I don't know. I wish you could just hop in here and we could talk about that. Proud in woodworking and carpentry. It's when S is too high. So like that, the edge of that join. See how, Wolfchild, I love you, but we're gonna discuss this. So Soups, I'm coming back to you quick here. Do you mean like the edge of that joint is too proud to fit? I have to sand it down? Is that what you mean? Waiting. Okay. Then I guess if that is a term that is acceptable, if that is a woodworking approved piece of terminology, then that is not what I'm talking about. Wolfchild, may I use you as an example here? Humility is the opposite of pride. Humility is the opposite of pride. A humble Christian, which I am sure that you are, I would love to give you the opportunity to reword that in this moment. You know, like, pleased, I am pleased. What could you say? It's important, you know, to devoutly honor your creator in a fashion that makes sense for you. I'm invited to croquet it too. We should be wrapped up at them by then, but okay, sorry, I'm okay. What can you say rather than proud? I don't want to take away from the feelings you feel when you think of being a humble Christian, because that I would never argue that you feel that. But to be proud about it, right? That's where I have a problem. That are the icky feelings come in for me. And I don't want to judge you. If you want to remain a proud, humble Christian, I'm going to still love you anyways. So, but the word unabashed, you could say, I am an unabashed, humble Christian. So that would mean like there's nothing you regret about being a Christian. You could say, I am a you could touch on the honor, clearly like you have a sense of honor. You're honoring your creator through Christianity, and you could touch on that. I'm honored to be a humble Christian. I am anybody else? Do you see what I'm saying though? I hope I haven't offended. The words as they come out, it incites a feeling, right? If I speak a word that was inappropriate, or maybe I've said something that hurts someone's feelings, I can feel it, right? So if I correct a word maybe that was used, I do not mean it disrespect. I'm so sorry. I should do some warm-ups. All right, this is exciting. Not a proud moment. All right. Wolfchild, please tell me we're still friends. Okay, good. Whew. Vlad, yes, sir. Thank you. Ooh, well, I will, am I buffering? What's happening here? I missed the chat here. Okay. I am a super awesome... Yeah, you get it. You're on board. That's awesome. I'm going to check chat here. Vlad? Oh, Wolfchild, thank you. Thank you for honoring position here today. It's a touchy one. I had people that, and I bring it up nonchalantly, oh, I'm proud. I'm so proud of her. Well, pride is a sin. Well, some things you can be proud of. It's okay. It's not like that. Like, it's not like that proud. It's this proud. It's the same thing, right? I'm on everybody's side. I really am. You know what? We learn together. We learn through discourse. We learn through the uncomfortable moments. If you only talk to people you agree with, think of it, Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. I'm like, don't go in blind. I wrote down notes. I looked up words. I want to make sure that I'm doing this a service. And I consider it a public service announcement. I would love to see people stop in their tracks and break the habit of, why am I buffering? I would love to see people stop and use their own thoughts, I would love people to start stopping the dumbing of society, take back your own frequency and vibration, It may make someone uncomfortable, but we acclimate to people vibrations, you know? Be quartz. Be quartz. Quartz will take on any vibration you intend it to. Be that. Feel other people, you know? Not with your hands. That might get you in some trouble. You know, but feel their essence. Yeah, it's sleepy time town. People are asleep, but we're waking up, right? That's what we say. We're waking up. This is the Great Awakening. You know, lost in slumber no more, I awake. That's what I mean. People aren't proud. There's good, bloody people out there saying they're proud, and they don't even mean it. They don't even mean it. They have just not taken the time to think about what they really mean. You know? Maybe it's because I have every app on my phone. I have Instagram, slowing things down, listening to what I'm saying. Good. Next time I'll be prepared. Vlad's going live in 30 minutes, no? Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay. You know, that's the real humble part of a person. You are the most humble person if you can stand in your own essence and listen to someone tell you something that they do not prefer about you. And instead of rejecting it, you know, tapping into fear and then erupting, if you can stand there, allow it and to feel it, and you're welcome, and grow from it. Like, think of what we would learn, you know? Think of what we would learn if we could all just do that, you know? Here's a list of things I disagree with. I find that most helpful. I reside in gratitude for your observation. Yes, this is how I speak. I was weird. And for years it was just weird. And now I feel like I make a little more sense. You know, I don't, I rescind popular vote. I abhor going with the collective flow. It's not for me. I'm not gonna do it. Let's talk about that, Soups. If I may, empower you with some potential thoughts that may be of help to you in that situation. The word need. First of all, the second you say, I need something, you're casting a spell of lack, okay? We know that our words cast spells. We know this realm is weird, you know? It depends on, you guys give me the heads up too, by the way. If I start blabbing here and like if Vlad's going live, someone else is going live, I had just intended this to be filler. So, but I am gonna finish my thought here. Soups, don't be in lack. What is that? That's a thing, right? That's envy. That's an envy. Don't be envious. If you see something that you prefer, thank you. If you see something that you prefer, Don't say, I need that. Celebrate it. Honor it, you know? Like, what's an example? I want to use something totally different. Like a job. Okay. Oh, that's perfect because it's a true story. It's a true story. Okay, quick story, Soups. This is for you, buddy. And it's proof that I'm right. Okay, so listen up. This is for you. And in 2008, I was selling cell phones at Rogers Wireless, and people would come in, they'd be angry, and they would throw their devices at me, and it was a bummer. It was a good pay, but it was just like mentally tap out, you know. And I had a lovely roommate, and she was in the food industry. I think she was bartending at the lobby bar at Deerhurst Resort. And she, I think after work, had a conversation with a fellow who worked in the industry that I now work in almost 20 years later. Okay. And she came home and described to me this conversation she had. And he had said, you should come apply hiring. We work with foster kids. They need good, strong, smart people to share them life skills and help bring their confidence up, and you should come work. And she would have been great at it, you know. She's a dynamo. But she didn't. She came home and told me about it. And Soups, I thought the same thing. I was like, you know what? Fuck, I wish. I need a job like that. I need a job like that. Okay? And that was, no, it's not envy. And you may be lonely, sir, but I'll help you here, okay? This is how things play out. Okay? I stopped after, you know, a small amount of time going, oh, I wish I had a job like that. But I allowed the attractiveness of that job, you know, like you could get paid to teach. You could get paid, because I'm not a teacher. I didn't go to teachers college, but I could teach these kids, you know. I had valuable things to share that I knew I would be good at. So you know that you have valuable things to share that you would bring value. Okay, so let's keep going this. So what I did, and inadvertently, I didn't know I was doing it. It was in retrospect that I realized that, you know, it was my own little magic potion for life. But I would be walking to my crappy job at Rogers Wireless and preparing to have cell phones thrown at me. And I would allow my brain to picture, you know, okay, now I'm walking down the street. Now I'm in the job that I already desire. I'm already in my brain doing it. And I would think, oh, I could tell that kid about, see that down there. And I would physically and mentally allow myself to just already be doing that. Okay. So I would, it's so in my brain, I already had the job. I felt good about doing that job because I knew I could do it. And then I would allow the scenarios of this job to play out. No, like I wasn't qualified for the position they were wearing. But anyways, long story short, I start to tell my roommate, you know, man, I wish I had that job. And she's like, well, here's a contact. So I thought, you know what? Why not? I know I'd be good at it. I don't understand how I'm going to get it yet, but I'm going to call this person and ta-da myself and see what happens. So I was on the phone and I'm talking to this lovely woman and she's describing and she's saying, well, you need this amount of education and you should have this degree and you should blah, 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 whatever, whatever. And I said, oh, well, I don't have any of that. I don't have the means to obtain that in the near future to do this. So Rogers Wireless is like a Verizon in Canada, okay? Or whatever you guys have, cell phone providers. Verizon, I think, is one. Yeah, so it is Rogers Wireless. Rogers is the Rogers Center. It's where the baseball sportsing happens. Anyways, it was a shitty job. So I'm talking to this woman and I'm like, I'm not qualified on any level. And she says, well, what made you want to do this job? And I told her, well, I'm artistic and I'm a musician, and I kind of thought that I could impart, some of that wisdom onto the kids, right? And ding, 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 ding. What? She says, you're a musician. And I said, yeah. And I teach lessons and, it was like she was waiting for me to call her. Okay. So not only did I get the job, I got paid more for that specialty. I went into this position as like on a level of music and art therapy. Like I would teach these children how to sing and play instruments, and I had a lot of the troubled younger cooler boys. I would rock out, they would spit lyrics, and then we would record it. I taught them industry level things about music. I inspired them to reach beyond their own visible potential. I got paid more than just if I'd had a job that my roommate was offered. So, but if I had, wrap it up, Heron. All right, Soups, if I had just felt bad that I didn't have the thing I wanted, I would continue to never have it for the rest of my life. When you have your heart set on something, follow those steps. Celebrate the beauty in what you're seeing. Know that you are worthy of that entanglement, and then picture yourself already there, and then feel the feelings of that accomplishment. I think that is how this realm or construct works. I think, we think it, we feel it. There it is. Worrying is such a waste, because it's in effect programming the things you don't want to come to. So instead of saying I should be a tribal leader, say I just know tribal leaders is my thing, right? In the moment, as if it's already happening. Acknowledge that. That is something that is acceptable in your reality. Can I? Okay, I actually wanted to clarify that. Yes, I was a vegan for 4 years. Was I, whatever. I was wearing leather shoes. I wasn't preaching. I wasn't trying to make vegetarians cry because they weren't good like me. That was not the vegan that I was. That was not the vegan that I was. I was more of a challenge. And I was when I was just like early 30s. So I wanted to improve my health. I wanted to, not for vanity reasons, but I wanted to shed a few pounds, and I wanted to, after a while it almost became a challenge, because it was not fun. It was not fun on any level. It was difficult. It was like, I don't know if you know this, but I am an amazing cook. I had my own catering company for many years. I would like to do regular live streams with Renee. Yeah. So long story short, I was a vegan on purpose. And did I sneak the odd burger? Maybe. Anyways, I know I can do it. I know it's not something that I enjoy. I like once you learn how to bake bread and braise ribs, you're kind of dorked for veganism, but it wasn't like it was either like I'm just no longer a vegan either. It was like, okay, you know what? I have done what I can do with that, and might have been that I was a little reckless at that point in my life too. Like I would finish work and know that I was going to spend an entire evening fraternizing and celebrating with my peers. So I would, ram a slice of pizza down my neck to do it in a level that was, fairly responsible, I guess. I don't come close to imbibing that level that I used to anymore. I am pretty tame. So yeah, it got old. Why did I stop being a vegan? Because I wasn't a really good one to begin with. And I just decided that, and the whole time I was doing it too, people were like, what's wrong with you? Like, you don't look good. Like, yeah, I was skinny, but I didn't look healthy, I guess. So I got tired of defending that. And if you want to look real healthy real fast, eat a couple cheeseburgers. Braise yourself some ribs, folks. Or don't. I'm not a big meat eater to this day. I don't really like steak. I don't overdo it. But anyways, yeah. Someday your princess will come, Soups. Just know that. Know that there is a lucky gal out there waiting for you, right? And unless, know that. Start there. Know right now there's a lady out there waiting for you. So you owe it to her to pair your fine self with her. Because if you continue to lament not having her, she'll never come, right? You have to acknowledge that that's a thing that's going to happen. And then it just, I know it sounds hocus pocus, and I'm sure there's quantum physicists out there that would try and nerd up a reason or two, but yeah. All right, well, I have managed to spend almost an hour sharing my thoughts, and you guys actually stuck around to hear them. So I have a moment here to, in closing, express my gratitude to you. Yeah, Roger, I'm a techno dork, and electronic things dismantle me, so it's probably best that I'm wrapping this up now. Anyways, yeah. Next time you have the urge to say you're proud of someone, think about what you're really feeling. Think about, here, in closing, if you say pride, that's part of you stealing what they've done and keeping it for yourself. And if you love them and you're really proud of them, you don't want to do that. So take a moment. Yeah, veganish. Take a moment and think about what you're really feeling, And if someone says they're proud of you and it makes you uncomfortable like it does me, I don't know, like tell them. Tell them. And I appreciate you vocalizing your feelings of goodness, but I also subscribe to the fact that pride is a sin. So let's talk about what you really mean. They'll love that. Call them on it. Talk to people. Be uncomfortable with them. Learn. Humble yourself. Right? This has been a public service announcement. Thank you so much for joining me. Should I do it? Yeah. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now. Hit the notification. And if you enjoyed this stream and you think it is going to help someone, please share it. Or don't. I'm not attached either way. Happy Father's Day. I don't think my dad ever said he was proud, but I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for him. Wherever you are, John Heron, happy Father's Day. Oh, bless you. KP. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with that. Derek, good to see you, buddy. All right. Let's all go and watch Vlad's stream. Yeah. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Until then, be well and be merry and be grateful. Bye.